We're back.
What's up? This is going to be like a general Strongman news episode.
Be a little happier about it.
Okay, we'll try it again.
Come on, be a little happier. Keep it rolling.
What's up, guys? This is going to be more of a general Strongman news episode because there's a lot of cool stuff happening in strength right now.
Yeah.
Outside of Strongman, Senior Worlds is happening in weightlifting this week.
Really fucking cool.
Pretty
Shout
cool.
out to Katie, our gym member, who's competing there.
So I think by the time this gets posted, all the lifts will probably be done.
No, they're still going.
Well, just depending how long it takes Braden to get it out.
Braden,
Yeah,
figure it out.
yeah. Our ADHD video editor that has like 15 hobbies.
And 1.5 of them make them money. Okay.
Some exciting stuff for the Arnold Amateur. We're going to go over the Arnold Pro invite lists.
Am I a wizard?
Yeah, is Alec a wizard? And then just a brief recap of OSG because it was a really cool show.
So good.
I watched it live here. He was there coaching, so we have like kind of two different perspectives on it. So first thing, Arnold Amateur discussion. So
Dude, huge.
Yeah.
Huge for the sport. People don't
wonder-
understand how big it is.
So some interesting context. So the initial invite list went out for the pro kind of haphazardly. There was an error, and then they pulled them back in.
Well, all the emails were sent out about 2 weeks ago.
Sure. So the invites had gone to the athletes.
Yes.
They did the invite post for the women yesterday or 2 days ago with the error in it.
Yep.
We knew, all the guys knew that Nick Guadione was invited.
Yep.
But Lyle wasn't on the initial list. So
No, I think-
it appeared to be like they just didn't honor the Arnold Amateur system.
The Arnold Pro is really good at at some internet drama every year on the women's side.
Yeah, they just goof
Last
something.
year was Nez. This year was Jen.
Yeah. So just objectively, like, I do think the qualifying route should be honored.
Yes, you should always honor
It's
that.
super important. Like anything that you can auto qualify for the big shows,
Yeah.
those routes need to continue. But what is kind of cool, I know James Deffenbaugh, I don't have context on this, I'm just assuming, for years he's wanted to make the Arnold Amateur into a Pro-Am.
Yes.
And legitimize it, make it a better...
Well, explain the flawed system prior
Sure.
so people understand
So-
why it was so difficult.
Why it was somewhat flawed. So it was it marketed as Amateur Worlds. It predated OSG, and it continued as the Arnold Amateur World Championships,
Right.
even after OSG was formed. You could qualify through Amateur Nationals. You could qualify through bigger amateur shows. You could qualify through Pro-Ams. But once you went pro as an American, you could do it one time.
Right.
But once you had competed once as a pro, you could no longer compete. So the avenue to try and qualify for the Arnold Pro was gone for you basically as soon as you went pro. And the argument was, well, once you're a pro, you basically have eliminated your best route to get it to the big show.
And it was the only opportunity. So a lot
Yeah.
of people would hold back.
And yeah, like I literally remember a YouTube video years ago of Bobby Thompson literally explaining, do not go pro
Right.
until you know that you can win the Arnold Amateur.
And he went and did that.
He did it exactly right. And then
You did it wrong.
I did do it wrong. I got second and competed as a pro. And then I, in theory, could never do it again.
Right. Yeah. You got very lucky.
Got very lucky getting to the Arnold UK, and now I found my way to the big show. But interestingly enough, international pros could just keep coming.
And we saw that a lot with Canadians.
Yes, because Canadians. So it was just convoluted. James wanted to make it a pro-am for years to get the best people there, to give them an opportunity. He just wants to expand pro opportunities.
Yes.
I wonder if this conversation was sparked in the controversy of Lyle not getting invited. Because it was a
knows?
weird delay. You know what I mean?
Well, he's been working on it. We know
Sure,
that.
I know, but
there was. I'll say this. This is what must have happened. Obviously, Nick Guadione, and that is how you say his name, by the way, got the invite based on his performance at Arnold Amateur, as he should have. But
Yes.
he won the show. Jen, from what I could tell, at least from what I could tell, this speculation, did not get an invite, and there was some backlash. So there must have been a phone call or two, like,
Sure.
you can't have one. You got to have both.
you got to have both.
You can't honor one side, not the other. That's just silly.
Yeah, she earned it.
Yeah,
It was-
she earned it. She
an
won.
advertised thing
She
and
won
she
the
earned it.
show.
Yeah.
She won the show.
So, however it got there, now the Arnold Amateur for the heavyweights is a pro-am.
Yep.
And for the lightweights and middleweights, it's also a pro-am. So anyone who's a U.S. or Canadian pro gets to just sign up,
Yes.
and they can use it as a qualifying route to the Arnold Pro.
Now, why is that dope?
That's pretty cool because now every year, every U.S. pro
It's gonna be so stacked.
is going to be in the show.
Right. It's so stacked.
The U.S. pros now are probably going to do Arnold Pro-Am.
Yep.
They're going to do the Shaw Open, and they're going to do OSG.
Yep.
And maybe trickle in America's Strongest and some pro-ams in between. But it's just James has wanted to build a pro circuit and things to do for pros. This is awesome.
It's incredible news, even for European guys, because Europeans could qualify for the Arnold Amateur at Arnold Spain, which, for being honest, isn't the most difficult show to qualify at.
Yeah.
Right? So we could get guys now like Luke Richardson, who, like, how else would someone like Luke Richardson, who we know is really good, qualify for the Arnold Pro? You basically would have to win Worlds to get noticed.
Because they really don't weight things that happen at Giants and Worlds very high.
They don't.
No.
So it's good for everybody.
It's good, yeah. And so that is a good point to bring up international pros. James said they posted the qualifying standard for international pros. You need to contact them, explain your pro status, where you're at, because not everywhere has Strongman Corp.
Sure.
And I think a guy like Luke Richardson, obvious, easy
invite.
But honestly, any of the guys that are doing, even Ultimate Strongman over there,
Yeah.
SEL,
Dude,
put him in.
Eddie Williams could do it now if you want.
Eddie Williams could go to the
Like,
Arnold
a
Amateur.
bunch of people
So-
could go.
And then, in addition, just a cool another show and professional opportunity to make money for lightweights and middleweights.
It's huge.
It's a lightweight and middleweight Arnold World Championships.
Yeah.
And he's putting up some money for it. So it's a $30,000 prize pool for year one, and he hopes to expand it in future years. So
You know he will.
James is the man. This
Good job,
is an
James.
awesome thing.
We love
I
you.
was arguing for this beforehand. I mean, he's been arguing for it for years.
Yeah, longer than us.
But yeah, we don't have to have any weird situations with the Arnold Amateur anymore. It just is what it is. And I think this move makes it way easier for the Arnold Pro to honor it as an official invite because the best people are going to be there.
Well, so according to the internet, though, I affect the invites.
Yes. I don't know where this allegation came from. I've seen it on Reddit. I've seen it on Instagram that some small Wookiee named Alec gets people into the Arnold Pro.
Dude, I wish I had the pull you fuckers think I have.
Yeah.
I fucking wish.
I could guarantee this, that if Alec texted Jan Todd at this exact moment, by the next time we film something, which isn't often enough, she wouldn't respond.
Should I run the experiment? Should I
No.
try to just say hello?
No,
Not her number.
Like Steve Slater would respond to you. 'Cause
Yeah, he responds to me.
Pretty good professional relationship there.
Yeah, he's like, what do you want on the show? I'm like, this person. He goes, oh, cool.
Oh, cool. And then, no, it's not how it works. Like,
Not even close.
no, it's not how it works.
Dude, I wish.
But the other thing people forget in Strongman is sometimes, basically what you're accusing him of is asking. You're
Right.
allowed to ask.
You are allowed to ask.
Yeah, they can tell you no, give you no answer.
Which I have done, not for the Arnold, but for your first showcasing at
Yeah.
North Americas.
We
I just asked
JF.
I was
and
like,
he
this guy's strong.
Yes, and I was like, why?
Yeah. Well, you were on the reserve first.
Sure.
You were reserve.
I was a reserve first, and then I got into the show.
Thanks,
but
Bobby.
Of all these big promotions that are happening around the world, if you're an up and coming person,
Just ask.
just ask. It doesn't hurt. They'll just tell you no, and even if they tell you no, it's like, hey, can you just keep an eye on me?
Yep.
These are my social media handles. This is what I'm doing.
Dude, it turns out communication's really cool.
Yeah, like there's a lot, and there's people. People made the argument of like, why is this person still going to the Arnold? Why is this person going to Rogue? Whatever. Relationships also matter. It's like,
Yeah.
like these promoters, if they want to work with you, they will work with
And
you.
I think
and
one thing, too-
it's a two-way street.
I think one thing too people forget, and I've given promoters a lot of slack, not a slack, but hack. I've given a lot of trouble in the past, but ultimately they're just people who have day jobs and usually businesses or sometimes multiple, and it's very difficult for them to have their ear down to the ground all the time. Now, is that an excuse that is always like permittable? Not always, but because at the end of the day, their job is to promote, right? That's kind of is your gig. But at the end of the day, someone's not going to go who deserves to go. That happens at every show on Earth every year.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people go who you think shouldn't go, and they blow your mind. And that's cool fucking too. You know what I mean? So just, it is what it is. Hopefully in the future we get even more, and that's just, the betterment of the
like
sport.
context is important too, of like when the invites were actually sent versus announced.
Right.
Like
Right.
in this round of invites,
Right.
the invites were sent out prior to OSG weekend happening.
About 3 weeks away from OSG, they sent out.
So, there's some people that did some things at OSG that might have an argument.
Mm-hmm.
It's not relevant because it's just it doesn't work for this calendar year. You did set up a good argument for next year.
Yeah, like what you do, and it's almost always going to be the next year, your resume. You know what I mean? What you did in the previous year.
What I did at Strongest Man on Earth, that happened before Rogue invites went out.
Right.
So I was like, damn it, I wish I could do the Rogue Invitational.
Is what it is.
But based on context, of course I didn't get invited.
No.
Right.
And next year, you might.
I might. So let's get into the list a little bit.
Yeah, Arnold Men. You want to hit him up?
Arnold Men, 11 dudes. I really, really like this list. Hooper, Thor, Austin Andrade, Bobby Thompson, Evan Singleton, myself, Kieloskowski, Maxime Boudreau, Nick Guadione. I'm working on it.
You're struggling on
Is it Guadione?
Guadione.
Okay, cool. Tom Stoltman and Trey Mitchell.
Big Trey.
Yes.
That's
so,
a hell of a lineup.
my favorite comment I've seen about this list is Dustin Tubbs said the barrel-chested Americans are well represented.
Yeah. It's a bunch of big boys.
A bunch of big boys. So, God, a lot of cool opportunities. Just any set of events, this is going to be cool.
Yeah. We're not doing predictions today.
No, but I think just a little brief offset. If this is a more dynamic show, air quotes,
it'll be comical.
It's going to be comical. There's a clear leading pack.
Yeah.
That isn't the barrel-chested Americans. If it is a 2 feet in the ground, let's lift some heavy
Ooh,
weights.
it'll be fun.
This is an 8-way battle to the death.
Yeah.
Right.
Squat. Put a squat in the show.
Put a squat in the show.
Put a squat in the
Let's
show.
do it.
I dare you. 800 pounds for reps, head to head. Let's go. Anyway.
Okay. So interesting question. Like, I don't want to get into the Reddit. If you want to get into the who shouldn't be there,
Go to
go
Reddit.
on Reddit and just
Let's talk about who we think would be just a great addition.
a great addition to the show.
Because there's 3 people you mentioned that you liked.
Yeah, I could make a very solid argument for Luke Stoltman.
Yep.
Especially after his Rogue Invitational.
It was very good.
He actually strung together, even with the injury mid-year, he strung together a pretty solid year.
His end of year is really good.
His end of year was really good.
Yeah.
Europe's and
win.
he opened the year with Europe's
won Europe's, he made final at Worlds, and then he took 5th at Rogue, I think.
Something like that.
He ended the show with an event win.
I could make a pretty solid argument for Rag.
Yeah.
Not his best year.
No.
I mean, he changed a lot of things this year.
Yeah. But I still think he's strong enough.
Yeah, it's like in the context of the Arnold, it's partially, are you in the top 11 in the world? And are you strong enough to actually do the Arnold?
Because it's a different type of show.
Aside from certain pressing events, Rag is certainly strong enough to do the Arnold.
Right.
And there's guys in the past, you've seen it, that have been invited that just aren't strong enough to do the Arnold, but
Right.
they're probably top 10 in the world.
Right.
So,
I mean, I'd even say Luke Richardson would be
Luke Richardson would be a fantastic addition.
great addition to the show.
I think his comeback tour happened a little too late.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Luke Richardson in the Arnold. And he has no legitimate argument to be there because he hasn't done anything yet. But I would love to see Bryce Johnson.
Bryce Johnson would be.
Because
I don't think people understand the wave that is coming.
yeah, that dude is going to be on every list for years if he just plays his cards right.
Dude, he's so good. We're going to get into that too with the OSG recap, but
Yes.
he's so good.
Yes, he did well at North Americas. He kicked ass at OSG.
Yep.
And just 2 feet in the ground static strength. He's stronger than almost everybody.
Yeah.
He's just a powerhouse guy.
Honorary mention Tim Buck.
Honorary mention Tim Buck. Yes, because Tim Buck could do awesome. Okay, let's get into the ladies. You want to go through it?
Yeah, sure. I got the ladies list here because I can't see that far.
You can't see what I wrote.
I just can't see that far. All right,
Let's
we
take
got
a break to feature Prime. This one drink has been in the fridge at the gym for weeks. I don't know whose it is. I'm not sponsored by Prime, and I don't want to be.
Yeah, get out of here, Paul Brothers. Anyway, returning champion Angelica Jardine, Andrea Thompson, Erin Murray, Gabby Dixon, Inez Carrasquillo, Jennifer Lyle, Lucy Underdown, Melissa Peacock, Nadia Stowers, The Storm, Olga Leashuk, Rebecca Roberts, and it's Leashuk announcers, not Leashuk, whatever. Rebecca Roberts and Sam Beliveau.
And Sam Beliveau again.
Twice. We got 2 Sams. One
The
with
initial
glasses,
post
one without.
Had glasses Sam Beliveau and non-glasses Sam Beliveau.
Yeah.
One of them named Melissa Peacock.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, that is a hell of a lineup.
Yes, it is.
It's a hell of
It
a
is
women's
awesome.
lineup.
Yeah.
It's very well rounded because half the field you have these dynamic movers,
Yep.
right? And the other half you have these crazy deadlifters or squatters. And then you have the super well rounded people like a Rebecca Roberts and Olga Neza seemingly getting there. So I really like this list. Mm-hmm. I do think it's nearly complete, which for the first time ever, I could say that about the Arnold Pro Women's Show. It's nearly complete, and that's huge progress for them. I think it's massive progress. Because they're essentially what they're honoring here. If you look at this list of women, you have multiple World Strongest Women winners in multiple classes. You have Open winners. You have the returning champion. You have North American champions. You have North American podium people. You have British champions. It's
the Rogue winner,
Canadian champions, the Rogue winner. It's so stacked with just a resume. Mm-hmm. The resumes on this list is nutty.
Basically every person,
and then the
on
Arnold
this
Amateur
list,
champion as well, right? She earned her spot.
Every person on this list has stacked relevant titles in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
Or relevant
podiums.
podiums in the last 12 months. But who's missing?
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
So personally, I think this name is just without question. I don't need to argue it, in my opinion. I don't think it's just silly at this point. Nicole Gingrich of Australia, her not being included is just a farce. It's
really weird.
It's a slap in the face to the top 10. She's top 5, top 3 even, in my opinion. She's so talented. Last year alone, she podiumed at Shaw. She won Australia's. She set a stone world record. The year prior to that, she took 3rd at World's Strongest Woman. Like, what more?
The world's strongest woman that would be relevant to this invite list.
To this invite list, she podiumed at the
most recent list was too late.
Right. It's just, at this point,
weird.
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't understand what's happening. And the thing is, like I said before, Jen just might not know. Like, she's a busy fucking woman. But there are people around who should, in my opinion, know.
No, it's weird. It's the thing is tough because all 12 women on that list, I could write out a couple paragraphs of like, this is why.
Right.
I know why they're on there. You could go get in the weeds of like, okay, if I had to add one more, who would I get rid of? Whatever.
Right.
Not super relevant.
That's go to Reddit.
It's just
Nicole.
It's strange.
She just needs to be there. And
probably
then the number 2.
the next best candidate would be Summer Johnson.
Summer Johnson, who, if you don't know who Summer Johnson is, she competes as an 82-kilo woman. She just defeated Erin Murray at America's Strongest Woman in the 82-kilo class, took that American title. She pulled a world record deadlift in the 82-kilo class at 660 fucking pounds.
Yep.
What? At 82. And then attempted the open class world record and got at 700-ish pounds and got it to her knees. She's just crazy strong, overhead, moving even, deadlift. She's just fantastic. However, her knock is she doesn't have a resume.
Yeah.
It's her only title so
it's
far
like,
is America's.
in an individual competition, she beat somebody on this list.
Right.
But overall resume, it's not close at all.
Yeah, she needs to win or podium at a few more shows, like North America's or OSG even.
Yeah.
In whatever class she chooses.
Or was she involved in Shaw this year? No,
She didn't go to
But
Shaw.
she was kind of hurt middle of the year.
Right. Yeah. So
But if she just stacks a couple more relevant titles or podiums
in the game,
Summer Johnson in the club,
because she's already strong enough for that type of show.
Yep.
So that's what I would say be fun additions, not taking away from anyone on this list, because I truly believe everyone on this list deserves to go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a good show. It's just the women's lineup is great. The men's lineup is great. It would be cool to have some other folks, but I love the direction of where the Arnold's going, because even on the men's side compared to last year, I would say is an improvement as well.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty good. OSG. Okay, so you were there.
yeah.
You got to see it.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
Dude, it was just good. There were a lot of things that Lynn did better than ever. And for example, the reset times for the events were fast, dude. Like the crew, they look like a NASCAR pit crew. They were on it, and it was fast. And especially the first 2 days, how they did it this year as opposed to other years, you would do your events back to back essentially. So you were done in about 90 minutes, 2 hours.
Yeah, it's awesome.
With your whole day.
For viewing, it was perfect because
Way better.
I know Aaron is starting at 1:30 our time.
Right.
Steven is starting an hour and a half later.
Sure.
I'm done watching if I want to be.
Get fucked, Sarah.
If you're a strongman, huh?
I said get fucked, Sarah.
She was with Aaron.
I know, I'm fucking
But like you could watch your people and it could very, very predictably know when they're gonna go.
Yeah.
Which is just great for viewing.
Streamlined, efficient. So that's something that Lynn did really good. I know he flew people in for commentary, and him even doing that is great too, because that way at least you're getting a mix of individuals, different viewpoints. That is a good thing, objectively speaking. And then, for the actual show in and of itself, I really enjoyed watching almost every event. The only event that I could just do without with is the Wrecking Ball hold.
Sure.
It's just not for me. It might be a personal thing.
It's like the people who love Hercules hold. It does nothing for me.
It's not for me. It also took the longest.
Sure.
It put the whole show back an hour.
Damn good that it was in the final. If it was in the overall show, it would have just taken the whole day.
Yeah.
Whole day. But at the end of the day, Bartos made a really cool
it's sturdy.
Custom build. And I love to see that stuff. It's the same stuff. Reason why we think Shaw Classic is cool.
Yeah.
Mike Bartos did a custom build, took a risk, tried something new.
Yeah. And it works.
Yeah,
the
it's
machine
awesome.
works. It's brilliant.
It's great.
It looks cool visually.
Yes.
So other than that, a couple things I want to highlight really is just the open men's show. I think might be one of the best open men's shows, regardless of show I've ever watched.
Yep.
I have never seen that many talented just people from all over. There were people who hit lifetime bests and everything who were already good that had made finals in the past that didn't even make the finals this year. Like that's how crazy stacked it was. If this was a show back in like the early 2000s or something like that, we all would be like raving about it because the talent was just.
Well, it's like the early years of OSG where a lot of the guys who are the mainstay pros that are now in the Arnold Pro and all this stuff, they podiumed in the early OSGs.
Yeah.
The performances and the athletes, I mean, a lot of conjecture here. The performances that they put up, let's say 2017, would be 30th.
Yeah, they might not have made finals. Yeah.
The depth is crazy now. There's this weird dichotomy of like a bunch of guys fighting for the same jobs.
Right.
There are guys who got 12th at OSG that are better than 10 to 15 guys that regularly go to Worlds.
I couldn't agree more.
Like,
yes, I would say I said it at the show. I'll say it here. I genuinely think top 3. If this is the type of talent now that's getting pulled into the show, top 3 has to go to Worlds, and 4th through 10th should go to Giants because I think even 10th place would wreck house at most Giant shows.
Yeah, yeah. It's just the depth. The sport is growing, and whether in the current system, maybe it means there's more shows, there's more things to qualify for.
Yeah.
If you're a promoter that's even not Giants and Worlds, you should be looking at this show.
Oh, yeah.
Just to start building your reserve roster for your shows.
Yeah. There's so many stars in the making here.
Like if I was JF with North Americas or just there's so many shows. SEL, look at this list, pick from this list, give these guys opportunities. I mean, there was a couple guys that I like Oscar Zilkowski, where I was expecting to watch those first 4 events because I knew he didn't make the final. I was expecting to find some large error.
And there wasn't. He did great.
He did a great show. He just didn't make it.
Yeah.
And a couple standouts that I might not have expected to be in that top 10.
Motherfucking Seth Suka.
Seth Suka.
How dare you be that good right at that age? How dare you, Seth?
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Great show. And you know what? Again, like I did in our predictions video, we did have Wortham as an optional in the final.
Yeah.
Nick Wortham is
Kicked
that
ass.
guy, dude. He's fantastic.
I think fifth?
Fifth or sixth? Yeah,
just behind Jeffers.
The dude is he's young, he's good, he's well rounded, no weaknesses. Nick Wortham is deserving of big invites.
Dude, how
next year.
about Jeffers didn't place out of the top 3 in the finals events and still took 4th?
Still took 4th.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And what's kind of crazy too, like the guys that made the podium, all of them still had one catastrophic event.
Yes.
But that's how good they were in the other 5.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just a lot of crazy depth there. Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. I think somebody in Nico Greek Goliath got a question of like, how do you think these American pros would do the show?
Ugh.
Dude, if any of us slipped on a bag or had a bad step on the
No
yoke,
wiggle room.
no wiggle room. Like to say like any of us in the main
Or just better.
we would just win. Shut up.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Shut up. No,
You wouldn't.
No,
These guys were
I would
great.
have to put together a fantastic show with no errors to have beaten Nick.
Yeah, he was on one.
Yeah.
Bryce on one. Tim
on one.
They all were just
Yeah.
How about
and
Tim
the same goes for like the other like Singleton, Bobby, all of us, Trey. Like we would have to prep to say that like we're just better is just false.
It's not true.
Because we could end up in a group at Worlds with those guys a few months from now, and if we're not correct, they're going to beat us.
Totally, dude. It was such a good show. Again, back to what you were saying, I really hope promoters look at this list because, for example, with Worlds, they have usually every year pretty decent size reserves. They have flying reserves, they have non-flying reserves.
Yeah.
Please pick from these guys.
Yeah.
Like just look at these guys.
Yeah.
And then there's the open women drama.
The open women. Okay, we offended some people with our comments on the open women. Well, I agreed with you.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify on this. So what some folks were mad about is that I said this is the weakest year for the open women ever. I guess I should add a little more context. You kind of have to view the show of the context of the year, right? And for the first time ever, there's a bunch of pro-level shows paying a boatload of money for the top women. And unfortunately, Official Strongman Games, World Strongest Woman, Open Class specifically, is right in between the 2 biggest paying shows. So a lot of the women who I would consider absolutely within the top 12 of the class, top 10, depending on how you look at it, didn't go to the show, besides one individual who ended up winning the show. I am not saying the women competing there are weak. I am saying that all of the best talent wasn't there.
Yes.
So in my opinion, when that happens, it is no longer truly representative of the best women on the planet. This show specifically that is known as World's Strongest Woman. And we've seen this before in the men's class. I think some of the people who are competing now, maybe they don't know or they're a little too young. But between the years of 2004 and 2007, this exact thing happened on the men's side because IFSA was created, right? So at World's Strongest Man between 2004 and 2007 weren't the best years. And in fact, you could make the argument that the entirety of the podium did not represent at all the top three in the sport because they were busy at IFSA doing other things. And that's fine. I mean, Marius got his extra 2 wins. Our local legend, Marinde, got second. It's still great athletes. Like the open women at OSGs here, you're still great. But to sit here and say you truly are in the top 3 or top 10 even, I don't think that's a fair comparison. And I don't think it's fair to say at all.
Because it's a weird context year.
It's just
the
a
whole
weird year.
landscape of the heavyweight women's game has changed.
Yeah.
And like, just to put it this way, if there was a year at World's Strongest Man that 9 out of 10 of the Arnold men and 9 out of 10 of the Rogue Invitational men weren't there,
would you call it the top 10 in the world?
No.
Right.
You would call it a weirdly weak year.
Right.
Just on depth of roster for World's Strongest Man. So it's just with context, like,
again,
for the
it's not to
upcoming
say
year,
you're weak athletes.
No.
You're great athletes.
Yeah.
However, let's look at things within the context of where the
and for
sport's
the
at.
upcoming year, you're only liable for the people who show up.
Right.
That's
just how it works.
At OSG World's Strongest Woman, if you got second, you got second. If you got first, you got first. You got third, you got third. For conversations with sponsors, relevant, real.
Oh, yeah.
Conversations with promoters, relevant, real.
Yep.
Like, I hope that those podium positions and high placings in the top 10 get you invites and opportunities for the following year, because it should be considered.
At least looked at, right?
Yeah.
Because just like we said before, you're building a resume.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you can't control who shows up. And you can't control that the other 2 biggest fucking shows are just like, right next to you or before you or after, whatever. But use it as a resume builder. Use it as a way to get to where you want to go. And, just at the end of the day, too, just like self-reflection. Just know where you're at. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't mean you suck.
No. We just might have said it a little too abruptly without context last time.
Yeah.
But there's a method to the madness. We do occasionally say, I was going to say, we never say things without thinking it through.
I say it all the time.
We occasionally say
I
things.
think half the time, honestly.
We occasionally just say
hopped
things
up
for
on
no
Zins
reason.
and Red Bull.
But yeah, so cool episode. Let me know what you guys think on Arnold Amateur, Arnold Pro lists.
Yeah.
Is there somebody that we missed for those lists? Thoughts on OSG, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Tag Jan for a squat.
Yeah, we want a max squat or a squat for reps, either one.
Put it in.